This is Valley News Live at noon.
We just keep enjoying these warm, sunny temperature days, and it feels nice to say that this is a nice weather for early spring, but how long will this last? Well, let's check in with Summer Snowball to see what's happening. Hey, Summer.
Hey, Brian, I refuse to be the bearer of bad news just yet, so let's just stick to the beautiful conditions we have for today. Seeing a mostly sunny sky on our Luther Family Ford Skycam network, not a cloud to be seen from this angle. And it was a mild start right from the get-go. Low temperatures, 18 in Langdon, 19 in Cavalier, but many of us woke up to temperatures today in the 20s and 30s. And check out how much we have warmed today. 44 degrees in Fargo, 45 at this hour in Grand Forks, 41 in Thief River Falls, 35 in Bemidji, 41 in Devils Lake, and 39 in Detroit Lakes. It is just a touch on the breezy side. The wind is out of the southeast in Fargo, sustained at 14 miles per hour, gusting around 25. We're seeing some gusts in the southern valley as well. Up in the northern valley, calm winds in Hallock, southerly breeze in Grand Forks, Langdon, and in Roseau. And we want that southerly breeze or even a westerly breeze to really warm us up. But I'm not complaining about this southwesterly breeze and 40s. On satellite and radar today, things are looking very quiet. We did have a little bit of fog out towards the Devils Lake Basin, down towards Ellendale early this morning, but that has since burned off. And we'll continue these gorgeous temperatures the rest of the day. Possibility of just a few passing clouds, and we'll get to the maybe not so good news a little later on.
Well, I'm happy that you're teasing us right now because you got to get with the good news first and the bad news, right?
Right.
Well, we'll be waiting for that. Thanks, Summer. Republican and Democratic legislative leaders are finalizing a resolution to expel a North Dakota House member accused of threatening and sexually harassing women at the state capitol. The House Majority Leader Chet Pollard says a resolution to expel GOP Representative Luke Simmons will be introduced on the House floor today. Pollard and Democratic House Majority Leader Josh Bushey say they worked together over the legislation's mid-session break to craft the expulsion resolution. Simmons, that is, had denied wrongdoing and declined Republican leaders' request to resign. He says the allegations have been totally misconstrued and taken out of context. Rockets were fired Wednesday at an Iraqi air base that hosts U.S.-led coalition troops. It's the latest in a series of rocket attacks in Iraq, with this one just days before the Pope is due to visit the country. NBC's Richard Engel reports from Baghdad.
Baghdad is preparing to make history with its first ever papal visit at a time of increased tension. The Pope's visit is aimed at supporting Iraqi Christians who have been leaving the country where they've lived for nearly 2 millennia in droves because of civil war and persecution by Islamic extremists, including ISIS. At Baghdad's St. Joseph's Church, this visit is seen as recognition of the hardships the community has endured.
Pope Francis is coming to his sons. He will come to all Iraqis, not just for Christians.
But this is an especially dangerous time. Rockets have been flying. The Pentagon suspects Shiite militias fired 10 rockets at a U.S. airbase in western Iraq yesterday. The AP reports they were launched from this truck. No U.S. troops were killed, but an American contractor died of a heart attack while sheltering.
We're identifying who's responsible, and we'll make judgments from that point.
The rocket attack is widely believed to be revenge by Iranian-backed militias for an airstrike President Biden ordered on them last week. The militias have recently intensified their attacks on U.S. personnel. The Pentagon didn't rule out further strikes.
I'm not prepared to speak to potential future responses. No one here wants to see this escalate.
Certainly not Iraqis, now facing a pandemic, tit-for-tat U.S. and Iranian violence, and preparing for a visit like never before. It's unclear how many Christians remain in Iraq. There hasn't been a census here for many years. There used to be around 1.5 million, but priests estimate the number has dropped to 200,000 to 300,000. And this community hopes that the Pope's visit will encourage Christians in Iraq and across the Middle East to stay. Richard Engel, NBC News, Baghdad.
Weekly jobless claims edged higher last week, but not quite as high as analysts had expected. The Labor Department reports that 745,000 people applied for first-time jobless benefits. That's 9,000 more than last week, but lower than analysts had expected. Continuing claims, or the number of people applying for benefits for 2 weeks or more, fell by 124,000 to 4.3 million people. Analysts had expected a larger jump in unemployment numbers following the winter storm in Texas, which may have pushed claims downward. Now, infectious disease experts say it can't hurt to boost your immune system before you get vaccinated for COVID-19. A strong immune system also helps your body fight the coronavirus. Now, a good diet does a lot, and here's a grocery list to help you get started. Wellness experts say vitamin D is important for immunity, and you can find that in mushrooms, liver, tuna, salmon, egg yolks, yogurt, and sunshine. For vitamin C, there's citrus and strawberries, but also bell peppers, broccoli, and spinach. Zinc is tougher to find, but it is in oysters, crab, and lobster, poultry, red meat, and beans. But it's not just diet that you should pay attention to. Getting good sleep, more exercising, and not being overweight will also help. Some people who received the Moderna coronavirus vaccine are experiencing delayed skin reactions following vaccination. That's according to a letter published in the New England Journal of Medicine, which details the cases of 12 reactions. The doctors say those patients developed large, red, sometimes raised, itchy, painful skin reactions a week or so after getting the first shot. The reactions cleared up after nearly a week, and most were treated with ice and antihistamines. All went on to get the second shot, and half had another delayed reaction. You can stay up to date with the latest COVID vaccine related information by browsing on our VNL new vaccine tracker. You can visit our website or simply open your phone camera and point it at the QR screen on your QR code on your screen, that is. Tap the link that pops up. Well, some schools in Minnesota, including Moorhead, head back to in-person classes for the first time next week. And that could be a stressful time for students, parents, and teachers. Now, students should remember two big things: have structure and support. Structure comes from knowing where your backpack is so you don't have to rush in the mornings. And if you bring a lunch, prepare it. You need to have support by talking to someone about the struggles you are having. Parents should provide that space where you can have your kids try, fail, and try again with knowing everything is going to be okay. Teachers should never forget about your self-care. Provide that time to sit down and breathe if you're feeling overwhelmed.
Break things down into smaller bits right now because things change pretty quickly. We want to have some expectations, but we also want to have flexibility. It's really important to know where we are right now. How am I doing today?
Teachers should let parents know when their students are struggling and vice versa. This provides a positive circle between student, parent, and teacher, causing less stress. Well, Fargo, West Fargo, and Moorhead Public Schools releases their upcoming prom plans after prom was canceled last year. Now, Fargo school officials say prom will be at Davies High School on April 10th, North High School on April 17th, and South High School on April 24th. West Fargo officials say their prom will be at Cheyenne High School on April 24th and West Fargo High School on May 1st. And in Moorhead, school officials say they are focused right now on getting back to full in-person learning on Monday and does not have prom details at this time. The Bison are back on the road this weekend, traveling to Springfield, Missouri to take on Missouri State for their third game of the spring season. The pregame show starts at 1 and kickoff is set for 2. You can catch all the action on KVOY. Well, coming up at noon, if you had a vacation or flight canceled during the pandemic, you may want to check with your airlines for discounts. And this warm weather is a nice trend to have for early spring. Weather up next to plan your day with Summer Snowlock.